Hello everyone, welcome to biology class. This class we are going to see 11th standard botany chapter 1 the living world. So in this part of the video, let's see about the classification of living world. So classification is very important for us to study the diversity of living organisms. So without a proper classification system, it will be very difficult to study about the organisms. So many attempts have made in the past to classify the organisms on earth. First such attempt was made by Theophrastus. So he is referred to as father of botany. So he used the morphological characters to classify the plants, trees, shrubs and herbs. Aristotle classified the animals into two groups, that is Anaima and Anaima. So Anaima group with red blood and Anaima group without red blood. And Carl Linnaeus classified the living world into two groups. So only he classified the organisms into two groups, namely plants and animals. So this classification is based on the morphological character. But his classification system had some drawbacks because the prokaryotes and eukaryotes were kept together in these two groups. So there were not separate classification for prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Also, a fungi, heterotrophic organisms were placed along with the photosynthetic plants. So because plants are photosynthetic, that is autotrophic organism, and fungi is a heterotrophic organism. So placing fungi along with the photosynthetic plant is also a drawback. So in course of time, due to the development of various tools, compel the taxonomist to look for different areas. So using different area, they started to classify the organisms. So what are the areas taken into account for classifying the organism? Like cytology about the cell structure, anatomy about the internal structure, and embryology about the development of gametes, the process of fertilization, etc. About the molecular biology, the DNA, RNA, genes, and phylogeny is nothing but what evolutionary relationship among the organism is referred to as phylogeny. So these different fields were taken into account for classifying the organisms on earth. And thus new dimensions of classifications were put forth from time to time. So what is the need for classification? So as I already told you, without a classification system, we cannot learn about the diversified organisms. So it will be very difficult to know about the organisms. Classification is essential to achieve the following needs, that is, to relate the things based on common characteristic features, to define the organisms based on salient features, and to help in knowing the relationship among different groups of organisms. And also the classification helps to understand the evolutionary relationship between the organisms. So there are different systems of classification. So just now we have seen the Carl Linnaeus system of classification. It is regarded as the two kingdom classification, as he classified all organisms into two groups, one Plantae, number two Animalia. So since he classified the organisms under two kingdom, it is referred to as two kingdom classification. Next, three kingdom classification was proposed in 1866 by Ernst Haeckel. So he introduced another kingdom called Protista. So with the Protista, to the above the previous two kingdom classification, Plantae and Animalia, gave rise to the three kingdom classification system. So Ernst Haeckel introduced Protista to the two kingdom classification, and Protista consists of organisms other than the plants and animals. They consist of eukaryotic organisms other than plants and animals. So that is the kingdom called Protista. Next, Copeland in 1956, he gave rise to four kingdom classification. So under Copeland classification, there are four kingdoms. One is Monera, number 2 Protista, number 3 Plantae, and number 4 Animalia. So Monera is known to include all bacteria, and Protista all the eukaryotic organisms other than Plantae and Animalia. So Monera prokaryotic organism, Protista eukaryotic organisms other than Plantae and Animalia, number 3 Plantae, and number 4 Animalia. This is the four kingdom classification. And the next system of classification was made by the R.H. Whittaker, which is referred to as the five kingdom classification system in the year 1969. So it was a very popular system of classification, five kingdom classification. And the five kingdoms are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. So you could see in all these things, based on the two kingdom classification, another one kingdom is added, giving rise to three kingdom classification. Another one kingdom was added, giving rise to four kingdom. Same way, another one kingdom was added to the four kingdom classification, giving rise to the five kingdom classification by R.H. Whittaker, and the kingdom being again Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. When you are asked to write or name the five kingdoms under Whittaker classification, you have to write this. And whenever you are writing this classification kingdom, you should not change the order of the kingdom. So you have to write it in the same order. So this order is based on from primitive to higher organism. So you should write in the same order without changing the order. You have to write in the same order. So let's see in detail about five kingdom classification. As I already told you, R.H. Whittaker, Robert Harding Whittaker. He is an American taxonomist. He proposed the five kingdom system of classification in the year 1969. And as I already told you, the five kingdoms are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. So what are the different criteria he adopted for this classification? What is the basis for this five kingdom classification is, his classification is based on the cell structure, thallus organization. Thallus is nothing but the plant body. The mode of nutrition, reproduction, and phylogenetic relationship. Phylogenetic relationship is nothing but the evolutionary relationship. So again you can see in the diagrammatic representation the five kingdom: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. So this is the five kingdom classification. So in this you can see the comparison of five kingdom. So this is the criteria here. These are the criteria for classification, and these are the five kingdom. So let's see the comparison of five kingdoms in detail. The first criteria for classification is cell type. So when you see the Monera, they are prokaryotic organism, and all the other kingdoms such as Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia all include eukaryotic organisms. So if you are asked a question, which is the prokaryotic kingdom among the Whittaker's kingdom, you could very well answer only Monera alone is a prokaryotic kingdom under the Whittaker's five kingdom. The second criterion for classification is level of organization. So level of organization is nothing but the cellular type, whether the organism is going to have cell or tissue or organ system. So out of this we will be classifying the organism under level of organization. So Monera include all unicellular organism. Similarly, Protista also include only unicellular organism. The third kingdom called Fungi, it might include both unicellular and multicellular organisms. And Plantae, so you know they are all multicellular organisms. So the cells lead to the formation of tissue and organ. So cells, group of cells join to form tissue, and group of tissue join to form an organ. For example, cells join to form a kind of tissue like different kinds of tissue like parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem, phloem. So cells join together to form tissue, and tissues are going to join to form an organ. So for example, a leaf, like that, different organ. And the next kingdom, Animalia, what is the level of organization? So certain organisms may exhibit tissue level of organization, certain may exhibit organ level of organization, and certain may exhibit organ system level of organization. And coming to the next criterion for this classification, cell wall. So the Monera, so I already told you, it includes the prokaryotic organisms. So you have bacteria under Monera. So the cell wall here, it is made up of peptidoglycan and mucopeptide. So we will learn it in detail about the bacteria. So that time we can learn what is this peptidoglycan and mucopeptide. And Protista, it consists of cell wall in some, which is made up of cellulose and absent in other organisms. Then fungi cell wall is made up of chitin or cellulose. Plantae, the cell wall is made up of cellulose, and animals cell wall is absent. The next criterion for classification is nutrition. So what mode of nutrition these organisms exhibit? So under Monera, bacteria, certain are autotrophic, and in autotrophic itself you have photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs and heterotrophic. So autotroph, they prepare their own food with the help of light means photoautotrophic, with the help of chemicals means chemoautotrophic, and some bacteria are heterotrophic. So heterotrophic specifically, some are parasitic, some are saprophytic, even you can find some symbiotic bacteria also. Under Protista, about their nutrition, so they are some are autotrophic following photosynthetic mode of nutrition, and some are heterotrophic. And fungi, so they are obviously, they do not have the green pigment called chlorophyll, and any other pigment also absent in case of fungi. So they are purely heterotrophic in their nutrition. So under heterotrophic, they might be either parasitic or saprophytic. And plants, so plants all are autotrophic in their mode of nutrition, that is photosynthetic mode of nutrition. And animals, they are heterotrophic in their mode of nutrition, they follow holozoic mode of nutrition, that is they take in their food and from the food they are going to obtain the nutrients. So this mode of nutrition is called holozoic mode of nutrition. Next about motility. Motility is nothing but the movement of the organism is called as motility. So based on the motility, the organisms are classified as either motile or non-motile. Motile mean have the ability to move, non-motile absence of movement. So Monera, few bacteria are motile and few are non-motile. And Protista, also certain organisms are motile and certain organisms are non-motile. And all the fungi are known to be non-motile. And Plantae, mostly they are non-motile, but they exhibit certain kind of tropic and nastic movements. And Animalia, they are mostly motile. And organisms, what are the organisms placed under each kingdom? So the organisms under Monera, so it is Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, that is true bacteria, Cyanobacteria, so which is nothing but blue-green algae, actinomycetes and mycoplasma. So in this unit, we will learn each and every organism in detail. Under Protista, you have different types of organisms like a protozoan, like algae. So they are certain kinds of eukaryotic algae like chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, and protozoa like amoeba, plasmodium, trypanosoma, paramecium, all are found under Protista. So all the unicellular algae, the multicellular algae will be classified under plants. So the unicellular algae come under Protista. Next, fungi, it comprises of yeast, mushrooms and molds. And Plantae, you have all the multicellular algae under Plantae. And plants, there are different groups of plants: bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, all come under Plantae. So you learn about each bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperms, everything in chapter 2. Next, under Animalia. So Animalia, it includes all invertebrates, vertebrates and sponges are included under Animalia. So this is a comparison of the 5 kingdoms. Okay, so it can be asked even as Whittaker's system of classification. Next, let's see what are all the merits of 5 kingdom classification and demerits of 5 kingdom classification. First, coming to the merits, the classification is based on the complexity of cell structure and the organization of thallus. That is, complexity of cell structure is nothing but, so starting the first group, they have placed unicellular and gradually multicellular, tissue level, organ system. So it is based on the complexity of cell structure. And also it is based on mode of nutrition. So based on whether they are autotrophic, heterotrophic. And this 5 kingdom classification has got separate kingdom status for fungi. In the previous system, like 2 kingdom, 3 kingdom, 4 kingdom, the fungi did not find any place. And this 5 kingdom classification has got a separate kingdom status for fungi. And it also shows the phylogeny of the organism, that is based upon evolution. So you all know the first organism to evolve on earth is nothing but bacteria. So his classification is according to the phylogeny. So like starting from bacteria and ending with the Animalia. So it shows the phylogeny, that is the evolutionary relationship among the organisms. And coming to the demerits of 5 kingdom classification, the kingdom Monera and Protista accommodate both autotrophic and heterotrophic organism. So they are not classifying separately as autotroph or heterotroph. So even in both the category, you can find both the autotrophic organisms and even heterotrophic. For example, in Monera, certain bacteria are known to follow autotrophic mode of nutrition and certain bacteria are following heterotrophic. So this is one of the drawback. And cell wall lacking and cell wall bearing organisms, thus making these two groups more heterogeneous. Because as we already discussed, certain organisms are known to have cell wall. So in Protista also we have seen some have cell wall which is made up of cellulose, and in some cell wall is absent. Okay, so it is a heterogeneous classification. So this is a kind of demerit. And another demerit is virus. So virus is also a living organism. Last class we have studied about the virus. And the virus did not find any place in this classification system. That is also a demerit of 5 kingdom classification. So hope you have understood about the 5 kingdom classification which was proposed by R.H. Whittaker in the year 1969. The next kind of classification is 3 domain classification system. So let's see what are the 3 domains of life. This classification system was proposed by Carl Woese and his co-workers in the year 1990. And they Carl Woese and co-workers, they told that only there are 3 domains of life, namely one is bacteria, number 2 archaea, and number 3 eukarya. So they have classified only 3 domains. So don't confuse this with the 3 kingdom classification. So 3 kingdom classification is different from 3 domains of life. The 3 kingdom classification was proposed by Ernst Haeckel in the year 1866. And what are the 3 kingdoms under Haeckel system of classification? Protista, Plantae, Animalia. This is 3 domains of life which was proposed by Carl Woese. What are the 3 domains? One is bacteria, number 2 archaea, number 3 eukarya. So all the prokaryotic organisms, they are given a separate place. So bacteria and archaebacteria. So I will tell you in detail about archaebacteria. So they are given separate place, and eukarya, so it is given a separate place. Under the eukarya only the rest of the organisms, the other classification system like Protista, fungi, Plantae, Animalia are placed under this eukarya. So on what basis Carl Woese gave the 3 domains of life? So this system is based upon the molecular biology, that is about the rRNA nucleotide sequence and also the lipid structure of the cell membrane. So based on these two only, 3 domains of life classification was proposed. The next classification is 6 kingdom classification. So already we have seen 5 kingdom classification which was proposed by R.H. Whittaker in 1969. Okay, so the 6 kingdom classification, it was a revised classification system. It was proposed by Thomas Cavalier Smith in the year 1998. Okay, and the kingdom Monera is divided into Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. All the other kingdoms are the same. So what are the 5 kingdom? Again, try to recall the 5 kingdom classification. So Monera, Protista, Fungi, Animalia and Plantae. All the other 4 are same. Protista, Fungi, Animalia, Plantae. This 6 kingdom classification has divided the kingdom Monera into 2. One is Archaebacteria and the other one is Eubacteria. So Archaebacteria and Eubacteria are the divisions of the kingdom Monera. So making it as 6 kingdoms. So this was proposed by Thomas Cavalier Smith. Next, the last classification system we are going to learn is 7 kingdom classification. So it was proposed recently by Ruggiero et al. In the year 2015. So Ruggiero et al. In 2015 published a 7 kingdom classification which is a practical extension of Thomas Cavalier's 6 kingdom scheme. So the same 6 kingdom classification was made into 7 kingdom classification. Let's see what are the 7 kingdoms. So according to this classification, there are 2 super kingdom. So in this classification, 2 super kingdoms are there. What are the 2 super kingdoms we can see? So one is prokaryote, the another one is eukaryote. So these are the 2 super kingdoms, prokaryota and eukaryota. Under prokaryote itself, you have 2. One is Archaebacteria and the other one is Eubacteria. This already you have seen in the 6 kingdom classification. Monera is divided into Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. So here you have to write Archaea and here you have to mention it as Eubacteria. These are the 2 kingdoms under the super kingdom called prokaryota. And the eukaryota include, okay, so it include protozoa, chromista, fungi, plantae and animalia. So here this protista only they have mentioned as protozoa, chromista, plantae, fungi and animalia. So what difference you can find here from the 6 kingdom classification? This chromista. So this is the new kingdom under 7 kingdom classification. Chromista was erected. Okay, a new kingdom was formed and included all algae whose chloroplasts contain chlorophyll A and C as well as various colorless forms that are closely related to them. So even you can find the unicellular algae in Protista, you can find the algae, but this new kingdom was erected and it included the algae and whose chloroplasts contain the pigment, the green pigment, and in chlorophyll itself there are different kinds of pigment. So which contain A and C were included in this chromista, and also the colorless forms of algae are also related to them, and diatoms, brown algae, cryptomonads and oomycetes were placed under this kingdom. So this is the 7 kingdom classification. So you know we have different classification system ranging from the earlier classification of Theophrastus, okay, and which was developed later, like Aristotle's system of classification, Carl Linnaeus 2 kingdom, then 3 kingdom, 4 kingdom, 5 kingdom, 3 domains of life, 6 kingdom classification, 7 kingdom classification. The classification systems you can find they are subjected to change. Even a new classification system might evolve in future also. Okay, so that's it. So in this part of the video We have seen about the classification of living world and what is the necessity for classification and the different systems of classification we have seen in detailed manner. Thank you. Meet you in the next session.